Federal courts strike down the Trump tariffs. We've got new international education wars going on from the White House. Bitcoin holding strong. The market's rallying off of NVIDIA earnings. It's a wild one out there this week. But before we get going, check out Capital Curiosities. They do fiscal histories, scams throughout time. They've got Germany's Enron, the Wirecard fraud, coming up this weekend. You can click notify me there on their page to know when that one is available to watch. I've been thoroughly enjoying the content on this page. It's a new growing channel. Go ahead and give them a view. The link is in the description of this video. So let's move on to the stories here. So federal courts, U.S. court blocks most of Trump's tariffs, saying that he exceeded his authority. And as we got that news coming in yesterday, this was yesterday's news, by the way, like near market close or after market close. Yeah, it was after market close. Markets went on fire. They were absolutely taking off. On top of that, NVIDIA had great earnings again, and it launched even harder. And I'm assuming in response to this to keep pressure on China. This news also came out right here. Marco Rubio says U.S. will aggressively revoke visas for many Chinese students. I'm assuming this is a direct response to that decision by the courts in order to keep the pressure on China so they can continue that kind of aggressive back and forth with them. That had really no impact on the market, and I'm glad that had no impact on the market because I'm tired of having big impacts on the market, to be honest. All right, anyways, let's take a look at Bitcoin. So we can see Bitcoin here is dipping out of my channel there. It's clinging to my channel here. I really wouldn't mind seeing Bitcoin relieve some of this pressure by coming down just a bit, maybe tapping 104 or $100,000 from above here and then carrying on, largely because I'd like to see a reset of the momentum indicators. Basically, I want to see this RSI come down, do a 50 retest from above, and then take off. That would really give me a lot of confidence in the next move. That's on the daily chart. If we look at the weekly chart, let's see where it is. On the weekly chart, yeah, we're almost topped out on RSI here. You can see that the BX trender is fully green. The volume is super green there in terms of that oscillator. However, we are making a higher high over here on the weekly, right? A higher high and a lower RSI. So this is bearish divergence right now that we're watching. And that is a little bit concerning. So that would mean, like last time we had bearish divergence was back here, and I'll draw it on the chart, was back here. And that ended up in a drawdown from peak to trough. That ended up in a 30% drawdown. Last time we had bearish divergence, and that divergence was a lot smaller. All right, so if we were to get that right now, a 30% dip, that would be pretty rough from peak to trough. Let's go from the peak. If we were to get 30% right now, or 31, which is more like what that was, we'd be coming down to $77,000. That would suck. So I'd like to see some of this pressure get relieved, have it tap 100 from above, maybe even 96 or something, and then turn around and launch. That would be really ideal. One more thing to look at is the is MicroStrategy. MicroStrategy kind of leading the way for Bitcoin, I think, with that drop on MicroStrategy. Now this morning it's up a little bit, but as long as it stays below, honestly, as long as it stays below 391 here, I wouldn't be surprised to see it roll back over and go back to the 50 or even come back down to the 100 down here at 335, somewhere around there. You can see the BX trender is looking bad, the volume's looking bad, the RSI is under 50. Everything is kind of set up for MSTR to do a bit of a deeper dive here in the coming days. Maybe not weeks, but days. BX trender's not loading. There we go. Yeah, you can see BX trender's getting smaller. RSI is pointing straight down on the weekly. I wouldn't be surprised to see this thing come down and at least tap the spike line down here around 341-ish on MicroStrategy before turning around again. CleanSpark warrants in the pre-market are up 25%. That is nuts. We are right back to this level right here, this 57 cents, which is just the top of the candles here. If we can close above this line here on the fib here, the 56.82 cents, if we can close above that today, we continue to hold this this third angle of approach here, and we could see ourselves at 72 cents in quick, fast, and in a hurry. And if we can close above that, 82 cents is coming in. And if we can close above 82 cents, then we're opened up back up to going up over $1. I've been getting some questions about when it would be a good time to buy this thing now that it's been running. Well, the best time was back here when I was buying between 16 and 23 cents, when I kept harping on that it had broken this downward trend line and it was basing, it was very clearly basing, and it was time to accumulate. All right, when's the next best time? Well, we have our fibs, right? We have our fibs. So I took it from the fib. You take this tool here on the left where it goes Fibonacci retracement, right? There we go, Fibonacci retracement. And then on the up move, right, you take it from the very bottom, the trough, and you take it to the peak. And then from there, you look at the levels beneath. So the first area, if it shows support, which it did, it came down to near it, not quite to it, but near it, and bounced 41 cents, right? That 382 level. The best and most ideal level would be the 618, which would be 31.52 cents right now. But again, if it gives that much back, I'd be a little bit concerned right now because we did that blow off. And if we came that low, that would be a 44% reduction in price from current levels. That would suck. Or all the way back down to the 786, which is a really big zone to usually pick things up. It'd be a 56, 57% dip before going back up. So right now you are taking a risk of potentially seeing a 45 to nearly 60% dip from current valuations if you're buying right now. Now, if you're okay with that risk, or if you're comfortable with stop losses, yeah, I mean, it could rip to 72 cents. It could rip to 82 cents. Heck, it could rip to $1. Will it? I don't know. I was buying all the way down here at between 16 and 23 cents. Right now, I do see there is a great deal of support right here between 33 and 41 cents. So we might not see a dip beneath the 382 right now, which is what we got yesterday. We got that dip yesterday down to the 382. That would have been a good dip buying opportunity. And today being up 25%. We'll see. We'll see if it holds. I'm wondering if my theory is going to hold well here, where everyone up in these levels above, above 60 cents, right? Everyone in these levels right here may have been taking notes of this level here between 40 and 30 cents, where price came up to it, right? Got sold off by everyone trapped there, and then immediately ripped right back through, back to the top, where it came to the bottom of this support, right? The bottom of this resistance, excuse me, fell back down to that support at 40 cents, right? And then ripped right back up to that level of resistance. I'm wondering if those people in those positions are taking notes and thinking, well, if it's going to just dip and then rip right through my position again, would I sell it, right? Would I sell when it hits that level of resistance and then watch it come right back down to that area? So like, let's say it ripped up to $1.23, right? And they sell it off down to 85 cents. And then are they going to buy it right back up to the all-time high again? That's what I'm looking for, that kind of move. I'm looking for those kind of whipsaw moves, like slicing through to the top of resistance, falling back down to the bottom of support, and then ripping even higher from there. That's kind of what I'm looking for right now on this thing. But if you're looking to get in, and of course nothing I say is financial advice or a suggestion to buy, sell, or hold any asset whatsoever, I would get comfortable drawing fibs, watch the fibs, and the 3 angles of attack. You can see my 3 angles. I've got one right here. I'll draw them. They're going to be really ugly. 1, 2, and 3. That's 2 is kind of off. Let's do it. 1, 2, and 3. My 3 angles of attack here. So if we lose angle 1, which is, or 3, sorry, angle 3, which is this most vertical one. If we lose that, we're coming back to angle 2. Angle 2 tends to fight, right? In terms of, it tends to hit angle 2 and like hold along it a little bit. So we may come down, hit angle 2, which would be with the 382 level, right? It would be that 382 level, which is going to be 41 cents. All right, we could fight, and then if we're going to roll over, it'll fight, not make a new high above 57, and then come back down to angle 1. Ideally, angle 1 is where you're getting your buys. Ideally, you're getting your buys in at angle 1 or below, honestly, if you're like when it's basing. So we're watching this angle 3. Once this angle 3 breaks down, like legitimately breaks down, which it hasn't done yet today, yeah, we could see hit angle 2. Angle 2 might fight a bit, and then it might roll back over, hit 41 cents, And from there, we'll see if it's hitting angle 1. If not, it might come back down to the 682, hit angle 1, and then carry on from there. We'll watch it from there. I'd be cautious right now, optimistically cautious. That's how I would describe myself at this time. Anyways, that's all I've got for you today. We're watching Bitcoin to make sure it doesn't fall out of this channel here. It's right in that line to where it might fall out of that channel. MicroStrategy is showing us that there's maybe leading downward for a bit of a dip. The CleanSpark warrants continue to perform. A lot of the other Bitcoin miners, let's see if any of the other, like Core ZW is only up 0.2% today. Interesting. The CleanSpark warrants were clearly the most oversold of them. Cypher W hasn't even had any trades come through today. So it's interesting to see all that playing out right now. Oh yeah, Ethereum kind of getting its day in the sun a little bit, holding up stronger than its peers. And that's it. Soxel finally coming back. NVIDIA up almost 6% in pre-market. Crazy times. Oh yeah, we haven't looked at this in a while. Well, I mean, I look at it every day, but so the US 10-year 3-month spread, let's look at that real quick before I leave you. Turn off the volume profile because that doesn't work on this one. All right. So we're seeing acceleration here, right? A little bit of acceleration. So I got this line here. This is drawing like if I see a move like this over the course of like a 2-week period, like that's that. If it crosses above this 0.58 on the 10-year and 3-month spread, that's when I start getting scared. I do not like how aggressive this has been moving up. This frightens me. I don't like it. I'd like it to see come back down, test this line here, and break this line to the downside. I want to see this. I want to see this formation end up being a double top, and I want to see this back down here at like, maybe not the negative actually, but I'd like to see it closer to 0. I'd like to see it kind of hanging out between like 0.4 and 0, like this little box right here. I don't like it when it gets out of that box. Out of that box, I get a little bit scared. So watching that 10-month, 3-month yield spread, I'm not sure what's going to happen with that, so I am watching it constantly. Oh yeah, if you're in metals broke out the other day. This is platinum. I bought some platinum. We got angle 1, angle 2, angle 3 in this. It would be absolutely straight up if that was the case. We'll see what happens there. This is on the weekly, actually. Let me go to the daily. Let me go on the daily. Yeah, you can see it broke out pretty nicely. It's hitting that. I wouldn't be surprised to see it come back down to 96, maybe even back down to 93. We'll draw a fib on that real quick from the beginning of the move, which we'll say was about right there up to here. If we get a fib retracement on this bad boy, yeah, we'd hit the 9 EMA at 96 bucks. The 618 would be the 21-day moving average at $93. And if we come back down to the 786, which would be an institutional buying level, it would be $91 on platinum. And then platinum has a lot of potential. Let's go out to the monthly on platinum, not the 2-week, the monthly. Come on. Okay, let's go out to the monthly on platinum. Okay, let me remove that. Okay. The monthly on platinum. Look at this thing. So the next, like, once we're out of this little triangle here, we could come easily as high as 122. We cross 122, we could be looking at 147, where we get our next level of resistance. And after that, the next level of resistance is 169, 170. And then after that, all-time highs back here at 189. That's a pretty sick move. That's pretty cool. That's pretty great. So I've been holding on to some platinum. This would be like multi-month, multi-year potential holds on this, but like all the way back to the highs, 90%. We're looking at about 20% or 25% back to the local highs. Once we cross those local highs, we're looking at a 50%, 40 to 50% move on this thing. I like platinum. I'm a fan of platinum where it is right now. I believe silver also broke out. I know this turns into a metals video now. Silver's also gave us a decent breakout if we come in here. So, yeah, there we go. It came out, right? It's coming out. It's testing from above. If we can launch again and take out this high right here at $30.55, we can take that out. Well, then we've got room up to about $31, $32 on that. We are looking at the angles here as well. I'm watching this one right there. This one got invalidated, so boom, goodbye. But we did break this one. All right, yeah, very nice. Looking for this. Looking for that next angle of attack on silver for it to come up into like 35, 36. Let's take a look at gold. Let's take a look at gold. How's gold doing? It's kind of consolidating. So gold is consolidating. This looks a little head and shouldery. So like head or shoulder, head, shoulder, and this would come back down to about $3,000 an ounce or so. That would be the bottom of that head and shoulders. And if we hit down there, then we need to either make a new bearish structure, or it would base down here. So it would come down, it would like come down to like here, and then we could get a base and then a resumption to the upside. Or we could come down here, make a flag, and then go to the next level of support, which I went too far, which would be about 2,800, where we are either going to base and go higher or flag and go lower. That's what I'd be watching for gold. Anyways, yeah, that's all I got for you today. Please like, comment, subscribe. Check out the Trade Cave store. Link in the description as well as the channel bio. Don't forget to check out Capital Curiosities and have a profitable day.